Hey peeps, it's your boy Dili. Beautiful day out here in the mountains. Everything is a little bit harder to get done in order to survive, but it's very peaceful here. As long as I don't have a television or radio, it's like the world seems to be at peace here. Until I have to go to Walmart. When I go to Walmart, I see the sheeple, and especially the ones still wearing their masks and propagated. They're like, it's like a zombie horde, man. It's like a glimpse into the future, at least from my perspective, because I just sorry, I didn't see you there, wasn't paying attention. It's like they move in slow motion. I feel bad for them. I pity them. So basically my entire family broke down and got the goo jabbed into their bodies. I don't have any children, so my line, my family line, will probably end with me. Anyway, that's not exactly what I wanted to talk about. 18 months ago, I kind of laid it all out. The video was, it broke community guidelines, but they weren't very specific. But I kind of laid it out, the past, the present, future, starting with the ambitious plan of sustainable development, which was called Agenda 21, and into, we're deep into the past about the Rockefeller Institute and a Mr. Frederick Goetz, we'll call it, and meningitis jabs, and the Spanish bird flapping thing, and how he created it, and how 50 to 100 million people died, and how they were never brought to justice, and you know why that was. Because the media is corporate owned. When you watch CNN or Fox, like, you'll see 3 big pharma commercials every 15 minutes during their commercial breaks. So can you trust them? Can you trust Fauci? Or we'll call him the Falcon from now on. Basically, if you read Kissinger's Memorandum 200 from 1976, it lays it out, and the greatest highlight from that was the United States will no longer give financial aid to any country during any crisis unless they adopt abortion laws. 1976 was also the year that Planned Parenthood was created. Margaret Sanger, and guess who chaired it? Who was the president for 30-some years? That'd be William Henry Gates Sr., who was actually the second. William Henry Gates II. William Henry Gates III is the one who stole code from everybody and pretends like he's some computer genius, but I don't think he really knows shit about computers. He's just kind of like a Zuckerberg of that industry, where he's the face of it all, but it's probably like some DARPA shit. You need a front man. And you have the Georgia Guidestones. The first rule or guidelines or whatever, written is to maintain Earth's population under 500 million to be in balance with nature. Under 500 million. There are 7 billion people on the planet. That was put up in the early 1980s. Now, some might say that was maybe a Cold War relic, but someone doesn't spend millions of dollars anonymously to write such a monumental, astrologically accurate thing just for shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? People don't build things like monster-looking statues or a horse called Lucifer to an airport that has a underground base that has a 1.5 mile long corridor where all the murals are, which depict what I call Denver mural times. I always wanted to take a conspiracy road trip to go see the Georgia Guidestones and the murals, and I really want to see the Temple of Isis in the Grand Canyon. That's a no-no because you cannot get, you need government approval. You have to go in by helicopter to get there, and you need the approval of the Indians that take care of that. There's like 8 tribes or something like that, maybe 10 tribes that caretake the land there. It's a no-no. Someone like me can't go. Someone like me can't go to certain places like Antarctica, Temple of Isis. Can't even see on Google Maps. You know. There's no transparency of our government. You gotta ask yourself, how do all these civil servants make $200,000 a year? Have a net worth of hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, logically say, wise investments? Yeah. Insider trading? Well, it depends how you define that. They all invest into the same firm. And that firm just happens to know all the juicy government contracts are going to be awarded. And these firms, or well, people connected to them, finance their campaigns. That's why they're established candidates. No matter who we vote for, douche or turd sandwich, we get the established. We have the establishment. This election was a big F you to the people. Because, yeah, we have the illusion of a self-governing democracy or a constitutional republic, whatever you want to say. It's irrelevant. It's an illusion. But at least we had the choice of which asshole is going to be the face of our country. And the guy we have now, I don't even think he's real. I think he's a deep fake hologram. And they've been doing the Weekend at Bernie's thing for a couple of years almost. Because nobody does rally. Like, even soldiers don't even salute him like he's not even there. There's all kind of, you really dig, you'll find glitches where he's just glitching in and out of the scene and the photography and the microphones, and it's like they're just kind of, it's like a green screen. I mean, shit, for all I know, everybody in DC could be in on vacation somewhere, right? And all we get is the green screen version of Washington, right? And they're not even there because they know that they're fucking us royally. And they don't want to be around when we find out what they did, how they sold us out. Sold us all out. These guys are criminals. Who do you think brings in heroin and meth and cocaine into this country? We have the resources. We wanted to. We could stop that shit, but no. The one drug that made people love each other and happy and want to dance and hang out was ecstasy. I think he killed 2 people. But no, we can't have that. It's only crank and crack and fentanyl and shit that just destroys lives. We can't have happy drugs here. There are 32 government patents on the medical uses of marijuana. But because drug companies can't replicate it, it's still illegal in some places. Unless it's genetically modified. Right? Same thing with mushrooms. They can't replicate something like that, so they just make it illegal. They call it Schedule 1, where it has no medical benefits whatsoever, and that's not true. Anyway, I'm just babbling on. The reason why I wanted to make this video, not to be an I told you so, but yeah, there's a few people, especially people I interact with daily in my real life back at home, that warned everybody. Just look at the history. Look at this. Look at the event 201. Look who hosted it. You had the Goetz Foundation. You had the Johns Hopkins University, the World Economic Forum, Bloomberg. And it was a training exercise, but yet we don't learn a damn thing from it. We are making the same exact mistakes without deviating from the failed exercise, right? What's the point of having an exercise if you don't learn from it? Unless it was a script, a how-to. Trying to hash out all those little details, like a war plan, right? Before you actually enact it. What do you think's going on right now? Why do you think there's all this censorship? These are all telltale signs. We're under biological attack. We are under psychological attack, and have been since 2012, since the Smith-Mundt Act has been recalled. And the black budget has been, we have 17 alphabet soup agencies that don't really know what to do, right? But because the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed, it is now legal for our government to run propaganda and psychological operations on its own people. How wonderful. Inadvertently, they're going to create people like me. It's a side effect. I mean, yeah, you can make 99% of the people sheep, but not all of them. Sorry, you can't do it. So, I'm here to survive, learn skills I'm going to need in the future. But the reason why I made this video is to point out the blatant price gouging, the economic warfare. Remember Batman? Remember Ra's al Ghul when he was like, over the years, our methods have become more sophisticated. With Gotham, we tried economics to plunder the city. Well, not plunder, but to purge it. And here I am, sitting on both sides of it, or seeing both sides of it. Yeah, this world has gone way off the rails, but the people that are trying to, or promise to save it, they've been promising this for 50 years, by the way, and build it back better and all that shit. They're the ones who destroyed it. They're the ones who dumped gasoline in the oceans, all those oil spills, and then they gave us like hoax shit like climate change and sickness all around us, right? Invisible enemies, right? And they're the ones who keep causing racial divides and giving us critical race theory and telling us that communism is good, because that never leads to tyranny or totalitarianism, ever, right? Ever in our history has there been a communism or socialism that hasn't turned into communism, that hasn't turned into a dictator, a brutal dictator. What do you think's happening? This is a bid for global domination by billionaires, lords of money, and people who have declared themselves our lords.